In 1995, Michael Mann made arguably his greatest film, the cops and robbers movie, Heat. Considered one of the finest crime films of the decade and perhaps of all time, the classic movie follows a crew of bank robbers looking to pull off a huge score, and simultaneously, the team of police looking to take them down. Here are 40 interesting pieces of facts and trivia about the film. Number 1. In the director's commentary track for the film, director Michael Mann noted that Al Pacino improvised the line where he says, "Because she's got a great ass." This was also confirmed by Hank Azaria, who Pacino says it to, saying that Pacino's outburst scared the hell out of me. He just actually terrified me. And he noted that his shocked reaction was not acting at all. Number 2. During the famous shootout in the streets after the bank robbery, the actors were using real guns. They were given weapons and tactic training by former British Special Air Service members Andy McNabb and Mick Gold, and rather than dub the sound of gunshots in post-production, Mann placed microphones around the set so that the audio could be captured live. This created a uniquely sounding shootout, unlike others on screen. Number 3. This is the first film featuring Al Pacino and Robert De Niro on screen. The two had previously been in the second Michael Corleone film, but the split chronology of the film prevented them from sharing screen time. The two actors had been compared with each other for decades, and the duo's inclusion in Heat was subject of much hype, with the movie even being promoted as a De Niro and Pacino showdown. And as those who have seen the film will know, the narrative of the film pits the two against each other also, with Pacino playing the lead of a police unit and De Niro the head of a crew of professional robbers, with the film telling two separate narratives until the two meet in the now classic coffee shop scene. De Niro and Pacino will both go on to star in two more films together, Righteous Kill and The Irishman. Number 4. Michael Mann, Al Pacino and Robert De Niro were very excited to film the famed coffee shop scene. Robert De Niro suggested to director Michael Mann that the scene not be rehearsed, so that the unfamiliarity between De Niro and Pacino's characters would seem more genuine. Mann agreed, and the scene was shot with no rehearsals between Pacino and De Niro. Number 5. For the restaurant scene, Mann ran two cameras simultaneously to generate a greater level of fluidity between the two actors. This allowed for more improvisation and experimentation. Number 6. The shootout scene, in particular the shot of Val Kilmer firing his weapon, reloading it rapidly, and then resuming fire, was shown to United States Marine recruits at MCRD for training purposes, in particular to showcase how to reload a magazine quickly and an appropriate way to retreat when under fire. Number 7. Mann instructed the actors playing police officers in the gunfight to aim deliberately, and they only fired their rifles in semi-automatic mode, showing that they were taking care not to hit bystanders. In contrast, the bank robbers, only concerned about their escape, fired their weapons on full automatic and hit several innocent people. Number 8. Michael Mann has been working on a prequel novel to the film for several years. In fact, by the time this video is released, the book might be out by now. Mann also has revealed his intention to make this novel into a film. Number 9. Amy Brenneman disliked the screenplay and did not want to be in the film due to too much blood and a lack of morality. Michael Mann informed her that with her mindset, she would be perfect for the role of Edie, the girlfriend of Neil. Number 10. Kevin Gage, the actor who plays Waingro, was sentenced to prison for 41 months in 2003 for cultivating marijuana despite owning a license for medicinal marijuana. Gage stated that he had cultivated medical cannabis to aid him in coping with chronic pain and stress from injuries suffered from a 1993 car accident, as well for a sister with cancer and a brother with multiple sclerosis. He was released in 2005. While imprisoned, he was addressed by fellow inmates and guards as Waingro. Number 11. The character Waingro is based on a real-life Chicago criminal of the same name who ratted out on some Chicago criminals. According to Michael Mann, the real Waingro went missing, and his body was found in northern Mexico, nailed to a shed. Number 12. In the film, we're told that De Niro's character Neil was imprisoned at Folsom Prison. In real life, Danny Trejo, who plays one of the robbers and lived a former life of crime, actually did time at Folsom. Number 13. The movie is believed to have inspired several real-life robberies since its release in places like Denmark, Norway and Colombia. The most famous post-Heat incident occurred in 1997, when two men robbed the North Hollywood branch of the Bank of America and were confronted by the LAPD as they left the bank, just like in the movie. The subsequent shootout, considered one of the worst incidents of its type in American history, involved the death of the two robbers and the death of 11 police officers. 7 bystanders were injured in the shootout, and the movie Heat was referenced numerous times during the coverage of the shootout. Number 14. Jon Voight, who played the role of Nate, turned down the role initially, telling director Michael Mann that there were several actors who could do better justice to the part. Mann, however, insisted, saying he always wanted to work with Voight. Number 15. The two main characters are former Marine Corps. We discover that Vincent used to be one during the briefing for Neil's robbery, and when Neil gets up out of bed with Edie, he has an eagle globe and an anchor tattoo on his arm. Number 16. Pacino and De Niro were Michael Mann's first choices for the roles of Vincent Hanna and Neil McCauley. Number 17. In spite of the immense hype surrounding the movie being the first in which legendary actors Al Pacino and Robert De Niro share screen time, they are only in 3 scenes together. The first being the highway stop where Hanna invites McCauley for coffee, the second being the actual coffee shop scene, and the third being the ending. You could also throw in the scene where Neil is taking pictures of Vincent and his police crew. Number 18. Michael Mann visited inmates in Folsom Prison to gain insight into prison life for the character of Neil. Number 19. In an earlier draft of the script, Al Pacino's character had a cocaine habit. According to Pacino, this is the reason for Vincent Hanna's bombastic outbursts throughout the film. Number 20. The movie had no scenes shot on a soundstage. Rather, it was shot in 65 locations around Los Angeles. Number 21. The restaurant in which Hanna and McCauley meet and talk over coffee was shot at Kate Mantilini on Wilshire Boulevard in Beverly Hills. It became famous for its involvement in Heat, with the word Heat spelled in neon above the door and a large poster of the actors showcased. Diners could request to sit at the table in which De Niro and Pacino sat in, table 71, though the restaurant closed in 2014. Number 22. Ted Levine was offered the role of Waingro, but turned it down due to fear of being typecast. He asked to play the cop Bosco instead. Number 23. Keanu Reeves originally signed on to play Chris, but lost the role when Val Kilmer was able to squeeze filming into his schedule whilst making Batman Forever. Number 24. In the director's commentary, Michael Mann revealed that the reason why Neil always wears grey suits is to help him blend into crowds and to not draw attention to himself. Number 25. The character of Nate is based on real-life former career criminal Edward Bunker. Interestingly, Bunker had a role in another famous crime film, Quentin Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs in 1992 as Mr. Blue. Number 26. Taking Neil's 30-second rule into account, in the film's climax, from the time McCauley sees Hanna to when he turns and runs, takes 42 seconds. He takes 12 seconds to assess the situation, and then exactly 30 to actually leave his girlfriend Edie. Number 27. For the restaurant scene, Mann used the restaurant's employees as extras. They were all awarded with a Screen Actors Guild card each. Number 28. Heat is one of film director Christopher Nolan's favourite films, and it served as an inspiration for Nolan's Batman trilogy, in particular the look of Gotham City in The Dark Knight. Number 29. The film has a body count of 21. Number 30. All of Hanna's team of detectives survive, aside from Hanna's number 2, Bosco. In stark parallel, all of McCauley's crew die, including himself, except his number 2, Chris. Number 31. After the film's release, there were strong rumours that Robert De Niro and Al Pacino never actually shared any scenes together, whether out of ego or due to scheduling conflicts. In many pan and scan versions of the film, and versions played on television, it does appear that the duo are never actually on screen together during the diner scene, but if viewed in the 16:9 letterbox format, as intended by Michael Mann, you can see that the two actors are in fact sitting together at the table in wide shots. Number 32. Out of curiosity, the residents of the apartment where Danny Trejo's character's death scene was filmed pulled up the carpet in the room where Trejo was shot, and to their surprise, there was still residue of fake blood. Number 33. Interestingly, Heat is a remake of Michael Mann's own film, LA Takedown, a TV film that was released in 1989 that was planned to be a pilot of a new TV show. Number 34. Heat is loosely based on real-life events. There was a real confrontation between a Chicago policeman named Chuck Adamson and a professional robber called Neil McCauley. They crossed paths several times throughout their life, and the coffee shop scene, where through a chance encounter the duo sit and talk over coffee, and the warehouse scene where McCauley is tipped that police are watching him when an officer makes a noise, really happened. Similarly to the movie's bank robbery scene, McCauley was involved in a robbery of a grocery store which Adamson's team had been tipped off to, and McCauley was killed. Adamson worked as a consultant with Mann regularly on projects such as Thief and the TV show Miami Vice. Number 35. One ending discussed, which director Michael Mann disliked, involved both De Niro and Pacino's characters shooting and killing each other. Another early draft involved Pacino catching De Niro, with the latter facing charges for the two robberies carried out in the film. Number 36. Natalie Portman was only 14 years old when she starred in Heat, and this was her second film role after Luc Besson's Leon the Professional. Number 37. Al Pacino really did punch Henry Rollins in the face during the scene in which Hannah throws Van Zant's henchman Hugh Benny through a glass window. Pacino was initially reluctant to use force as he didn't want to hurt Rollins, as the former Black Flag frontman Rollins recounts in an interview. I said, "Look at this face. What could you possibly do to it that wasn't done by some guy in San Diego who had 5 rights on his hand?" He goes, "Okay." So the next take, he grabs me by my hair so hard I almost started crying, and he hauls me off and whacks me across the face to where I could feel it in my toes. Number 38. The graphic on the tow truck in the film's opening armoured car robbery says RAJA, which are the first initials of Michael Mann's 4 daughters' names. Number 39. Robert De Niro helped Tom Seismo with his drug problems. The actors became close after making Heat, and one day De Niro told Seismo to stop using heroin, and he drove him to his private plane to get him help. As Seismo recalled, "It was magical. I watched this guy in the dark when I was 14 and wondered who he was, and here he is. I'm in his car and he's driving me to the airport. He's telling me that the gig is up. He's telling me I'm a wonderful actor, that he's not going to let me die. I love you," he told me, "like you're my son." I didn't want to go, but I couldn't say no to him. And finally, at number 40, a rather humorous one. Val Kilmer has a bizarre idea for a Heat sequel. In 2013, he said, "You remember Natalie Portman in it? She's Pacino's adopted daughter. So she comes home and says, 'Daddy, Daddy, I want you to meet my fiancé.' And it's me. He's retired and I come to Chicago where he's retired back to, and I'm going to torture him, and then I'm going to kill him." So there you have it. For more videos and related content, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the notification button, and thanks for watching.